we are back at it with a brand new squad, and we're gonna go TCC Extreme this time around. This fight can get a little awkward without Layle. The bans, if it just said it, but I'll just say them again anyway. The bans are all the synergy characters that have LDs, which would be Layle, Kais, Kryl, and Celeste, and they're banning Tifa because it's Tifa, and it makes sense why they would. And you can't burst, and you can't use LD calls for any of the characters I just mentioned. Those are the restrictions, but synergy friends are okay, and I managed to find a Layle, so we're bringing one in. This isn't my first run of this. I shared it in the TCC Discord, but for those who didn't see it, I'll share it here. I did a run of this with a slightly different team. I brought, who the hell did I bring now? Ramza, Dark Knight Cecil, and Galuf. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I did terrible. I won, I got the requirement and everything, but I did it in 100 turns. Like, I wanted to delete my account, I was so embarrassed. But I showed people anyway, you know, sometimes trial and error, you just gotta do what you gotta do. But I switched it up for Cloud and Bartz, and it worked out way better. We got it done in the 60s, which I'm okay with. Given these restrictions, I'll take 60s for the turns. That's totally fine with me. Kind of, not really off topic, but just something that popped into my head. I was listening to the most recent Ranting Hour, and because Black Narrow's been talking about Layle a lot, and I'm glad he has because Layle's a badass, so I'm glad that somebody out there with a decent following is giving Layle the attention that I believe he deserves. And because of that, they were talking about me because I've been quite the Layle cheerleader as of late. Actually, not even just as of late. I've kind of always liked Layle, but they were talking about just my runs and stuff, and Mino said something like, I don't want to misquote you, but it was something like, I used to think Clay was full of shit because he would just be like, yeah, I'm gonna stomp this with the meta team, and like, I don't care. But then he'd always go back and do TCC challenges and stuff. That is true, but just for the record, that's not a new thing. Like, ever since I've known what TCC challenges are, I've kind of always done that. Like, I'm talking back when I discovered it was, I'm trying to remember the first one I did. I remember now, the first TCC challenge it was before Extremes even existed. It was one of those Abyss stages. It was an Abyss Normalis stage. It was before Abyss Perfectum even existed. So I've kind of been on that TCC grind for a while now. This ain't new, dude. So, but regardless, I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, no offense taken if you used to think I was full of shit, because yeah, but in your defense, like, nobody knew who the hell I was back then. I was just kind of doing these with, like, I don't think we even had 100 subscribers when I started doing this shit. So it makes sense why nobody knows. The timing of this can be super awkward. I kind of just talked through the first threshold, but yeah, the thresholds are predictably 80, 50, and 30. And you have to launch them, do 150k, or else they have disgusting HP damage reduction, and then you don't do any damage, and the fight's just a drag. Totally sucks. But they also turn jump when that happens. Like, their turn moves right behind whoever's next in line, and it sucks. Because that means unless you're Layle, you're going to do shit damage, and you're not going to be able to get that on that first turn. So you have to kind of stall it out a little bit. So I kept running into those situations. But this Layle friend helped out immensely. There were definitely some mistakes made in here, like, absolutely, but a win's a win, I suppose. Again, I'll take this over 100 turns. Oh, that was disgusting. It's fun to actually use Cloud not alongside Kais or Dark Knight Cecil or Ramza. I haven't done that in forever. Like, usually he's with one of those people, but not this time. Last time I did that was it was the Y'shtola LUFENIA when they brought the count teams back. I brought Cloud with Aerith and Y'shtola. That was fun too. But, you know, back then, you know, I was using burst and stuff. That wasn't for a challenge. That was just to do it. But yeah, not using the burst definitely takes the wind out of your sails, but it's still doable. Plenty of people have done this one. I wouldn't say this one's necessarily difficult for TCC challenge. It's just, it can be super awkward. That's what I'd call it. Because of that shit right there. See how his turn just jumped? I hate that. That's so obnoxious. Okay, so we're gonna just refresh these. We'll cover. Okay, the plan here is he'll swing at Galuf, get countered, and now both of them will be at the threshold, which is perfect. So now, Cloud's in a position where he is not going to be able to do it, so we bring in Layle right now. Because they're both at the threshold. Layle can get everybody in the launch. I'll move him behind Bartz so he can just do that to B2, so we won't have to worry about that. And then we'll get his burst effect up. It would have been nice to do that first thing, but we were in a position where we kind of couldn't. Well, we could have, it just wouldn't have made any sense. So we'll just stay on that one to do some damage. Okay. Now, get everybody in this launch too. Perfect. The aura is gone. There's 2 thresholds left where they do this shit. So now preferably, we're going to have to do as much damage as we possibly can with Layle to get at least one of them at that threshold. So that way when Cloud comes back, we only have one of those thresholds to worry about. Which is much more manageable. Okay, but let's get this up. This will help us damage race this. And I love that they have bad turn order because Galuf is here. Bad turn order when Galuf on the team is amazing. Because he just takes full advantage of it. He also, you'll see it later in the fight, if it hasn't happened already, I don't think it has. But when they're red like this, if they break you with their single target attacks, they'll just do a follow-up HP attack and kill somebody. But not Galuf. Which is great. So even if they break, because usually they're going to miss Galuf anyways, but even if they hit him, they'll do a follow-up attack and miss, and then Galuf will counter both, which is fantastic. So Galuf cheeses this fight as far as that mechanic goes, but with the launches, he doesn't help much except for to pop a cover and get a whole bunch of battery to set up for a launch, but it's not like Galuf's going to be launching anything himself. Okay, there we go. So we got rid of the threshold with the Bartz LD and the one on the right, which means we're going to counter B to the point where he'll be at 29. Perfect. Okay, now his is up. So at this point, we'll focus A until Cloud comes back and then wait till Cloud is in a better position to get that launch. So we're not going to take that launch there because there's no way we're going to hit enough. It's not going to be 150k. Of course not. Okay, get some battery. Cloud's gonna come back, but I don't know if it'll be enough. That's right. So instead, we're going to up the max brave. Just launch this one again. This will queue up a launch for the one on the left. Do you see what I mean about this awful turn order? And they keep jumping. It can be really uncomfortable. Okay, so now we have full battery. And look, they keep jumping, but now we have to get everybody in there. We just have to. So do your thing. Knock them back. Just made it. 151. Okay, so now it's a breeze. Now the only thing we have to worry about is that breaking stuff. But we don't even have to worry about it because Galuf's here. We're through the actual mechanics of the fight. That's a weird way to word it. You know what I'm trying to say. The launch bullshit. We're through having to do all that. So now we just kind of take our time and win. Yeah, the first time I did this, it got so awkward. I also couldn't find a Layle friend the first time. I used Blartanyan's Ramza, which was cool and all that I was able to do it with Ramza. Like, there was no Layle whatsoever, like not even as a friend. So, because I was looking for one, and then I saw Blart's Ramza, I'm like, you know what, I'll try this. And it worked, but my god, I was 10 turns away from failing. It got to a point where the turn spacing was so uncomfortable that I had to just wear one of them down. I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to set up a launch when they're both turn jumping constantly, so let's just kill one of them and then trudge our way through the last one. Like, I was all out of skills, spamming HP attacks, Galuf's LD counter wore out. It was a mess, so I didn't want to upload that one. So I just went back, decided to regroup, switched up the squad a little bit, and found a Layle, and this is much cleaner. I'm much happier with this, absolutely. So at this point, we don't really have to focus A much, because he's going to die of Galuf counters. Yeah. Pop this. Yeah, Galuf counters and splash damage is going to kill him. But you know what? I'd rather just get you out of the way, because Cloud does have a finishing touch left. I want to get into a position where everybody... This is the one. Cool. So now everybody's pretty good on Brave. Use your last one. There we go. No more launches, no need. They're about done. Oh, I'm considering, I don't know what I'd do. Maybe I should have waited to do this then, but I'm considering streaming sometime this weekend. I don't have exact times of when that's going to happen, but maybe Saturday night, maybe. Not sure yet. Not even sure if I will, but I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility. So it's not really an announcement. It's just, I'm literally just looking for something to talk about because this video is about to end right now. Go Galuf, go. 64 is fine. I will take 64 given these restrictions. I'm happy with this clear. Not so much the lag, but the clear. Alright, thanks for watching.